we observe the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. International days are marked to educate the public on concerning issues, to promote interest and resources to address these problems. So there was a global recognition that persons with disabilities do have pressing issues which needs to be tackled. And another recognized area of extreme importance is menstruation and its related issues. Hence, May 28th was designated as International Menstrual Hygiene Day. So one can imagine the issues faced by a girl or a woman with a disability during her menstruation. So today on this occasion, we pledge to provide support to people with disabilities and their caregivers, especially with regards to the often neglected issues such as menstruation. And the first step we have taken towards this is to launch a handbook for menstrual management in the intellectually disabled, which is designed to provide practical tips for their caregivers, and also by kick-starting holistic support services, which include the services of a dedicated pediatrician, physiotherapist, and for the first time in Mangalore, the services of a gynecologist to address these issues. It is really an honor for all of us to have you, Sister Maria, as our chief guest today, and we thank you. It is most apt that the founder of Mangalore's first special school is launching the first specialized gynecological services for the disabled.
Chief guest, respected and admired Sister Maria Jyoti, such a privilege and an honor to share the stage with you. Guest of honor, Mrs. Lidith Pinto, my well-wisher and friend. Medical Director, Yenapoya Specialty Hospital, Dr. Mohammed Tahir. Dr. Ranjan, who is in our midst. Special invitee, Dr. Sally Mary Abraham. Dr. Mehnaz Abdullah, author of the handbook Menstrual Management in the Intellectually Disabled, and her better half, best half, Dr. Shamsaz. Have I pronounced it right, Doctor?
His name is always difficult.
Sam, Dr. Sam. Dr. Sam, all right. Invited guests, doctors, members of the Yenapoya Hospitality Fraternity, dear parents, fellow caregivers, and media personnel. It gives me immense pleasure to be here for this very meaningful occasion. Firstly, heartfelt congratulations to Dr. Mehnaz Abdullah on the handbook, which I am very sure will provide insights and answer questions that the primary caregivers of the intellectually disabled girls and women have. When Dr. Mehnaz called to invite me and requested me to share my experiences as a sibling and a primary caregiver, after the conversation, my first thought was, I wish this handbook was available when my sister bled. I recall distinctly when I started menstruating, my first concern was, how will my sister handle this when it happens to her? Geeta, or Geetu, as she's fondly known as, is just 14 months younger than me, and I knew that her periods would arrive shortly. And when it did, as expected, my sister couldn't cope. In those years, the term for her condition was mental retardation. My sister, Geeta, is a potent combination of intellectual disability and autism. She has very low adaptive behavior, is non-verbal, and very minimal social skills. No intellectually disabled person, irrespective of the gender, is easy to look after. But there are varying degrees of difficulty, and every family member has different coping mechanisms. The arrival of Geeta's periods was doubtless a huge shock to her system, and the increased hormone secretions must have played havoc with her cognitive mind. To put it mildly, she didn't take the change well. For my parents and me, the realization of how difficult this would be for her aggravated our trauma. This was very hard for us, and it was hell for my sister. She wouldn't tolerate the sanitary pad. It would be torn and thrown away no matter how many times it was replaced. No amount of coaxing and cajoling had any effect on her. We had a practical hygiene issue at hand, and then there was an unexpected twist in the tale. It was at this point in Geeta's life that she developed an aversion to clothes, and very often she would discard her attire or tear it off. And this was a huge blow to my mother's morale. As a full-time homemaker, my mother was witness to this more often than the rest of us, and every episode pulled her down and sagged my mother's spirits. Having grown up as a self-appointed babysitter, I took charge. I was the older sister. Which is why probably my own menstrual cycle and any problems was never an issue, because I was too bothered and involved in my sister's issues. When my mother discussed my sister's condition, she received very well-meaning advice, all of it from people who had normal, regular, intelligent children. Tie her hands, sedate her, give her very little food during her menstruating days so that she has no extra energy to tear off her clothes. And those of the religious bent of mind suggested to all of us that we appeal very fervently to the gods. Dr. Mehnaz Abdullah, now you know why I began by saying, I wish I had your handbook when my sister bled. Through all this, there was my father, gentle, patient and participative. The other light, Jyoti, Sister Maria Jyoti, my guiding light and role model. Day in and day out, we see the ad industry which continues to romanticize menstruation. Images of young girls and women, all very beautiful and attractive, with extreme high energy, boundless spirits, indulging in physical activities and extreme sports. Never have I ever come across an ad featuring a menstruating special needs person and the caregiver. Neither do I know of any relevant public message that addresses this context, which is why Dr. Abdullah's handbook is very pertinent and timely. My sister had to undergo a hysterectomy because of the advice of her doctors. In 2003, her periods got very severe and she had 2 episodes of acute bleeding that would have been fatal. Although I knew that my sister would never have become a mother, would have never born a child, I experienced an immense sense of loss during the post-operative care. I felt her womanhood had come to an end, although she herself has no concept of it, and far before it should have. At that point, I had nobody to talk to, because I felt that nobody would understand. The only solace was the calming presence of Sister Maria Jyoti and her consistent empathy. And of course, my sister's gynecologist, Dr. Bharati Nirmal's empathy and the excellent round-the-clock nursing care. All this reinforced my faith in the goodness of the universe. Those were the times when talking about periods and about mental health in public was seen as taboo. Both these topics were considered shameful and were not to be publicly acknowledged. Today, a book launch like this is such a laudable initiative and demonstrates how much as a society we have grown. Dr. Mehnaz, may your labor of love empower and encourage caregivers and enlighten readers to add value and enhance their understanding. Warmest congratulations to Dr. Mohammad Tahir. This is such a proud moment for Yanapoya Hospital. This is going to make the world a better place for many of them and is going to be very inclusive. God bless us all. May we thrive in the spirit of humanity and harmony. Thank you.